For thousands of years, this small piece of land has been at the center of history, faith, and conflict. In this documentary, we explore the full story of Israel and Palestine. Fact-based, neutral, and easy to understand.
This region lies between the Mediterranean Sea and the Jordan River, a crossroads of Africa, Asia, and Europe.
Around 3000 BCE, the Canaanites built fortified towns here, cultivating the fertile valleys. By 1000 BCE, the Jewish kingdom of Israel had emerged, with Jerusalem as its capital under King David. In 586 BCE, the Babylonians conquered Jerusalem, destroyed the first temple, and exiled many Jews to Babylon. In 538 BCE, the Persian Empire allowed Jewish exiles to return and rebuild the temple. In 332 BCE, Alexander the Great's conquest brought Greek culture, blending with local traditions. By 63 BCE, the Romans controlled the region, adding it to their vast empire. In 70 CE, after a major revolt, the Romans destroyed Jerusalem and its second temple. By 135 CE, after another uprising, the Romans renamed the land Syria Palestina to reduce Jewish ties to it.
From the 4th century CE, Christianity spread under the Byzantine Empire, making Jerusalem a holy city for Christians.
In 638 CE, Muslim armies captured Jerusalem, adding Islam to the land's deep spiritual heritage.
By 691 CE, the Dome of the Rock was completed, becoming one of Islam's holiest sites.
Between 1099 and 1291, Crusaders and Muslim dynasties fought for control, each leaving lasting marks. In 1517, the Ottoman Empire conquered the region, ruling it for the next 4 centuries. During Ottoman rule, Jews, Muslims, and Christians lived under one administration, though tensions sometimes rose. By the late 1800s, Jewish migration increased, inspired by the Zionist movement in Europe. Persecution in Europe, especially in Russia, pushed many Jews to seek safety in their ancestral homeland. In 1917, during World War I, the Ottoman Empire fell, and Britain took control of Palestine under a League of Nations mandate. In 1917, Britain backed a Jewish homeland in Palestine, while promising rights for Arab residents.
During the 1920s, Jewish immigration rose, leading to growing tensions between Jewish and Arab residents.
In 1929, violence erupted in Hebron and other towns, leaving hundreds dead on both sides.
From 1936 to 1939, Arabs launched a revolt against British rule and mass Jewish immigration.
In the 1930s and 40s, Nazi persecution and the Holocaust drove many Jews to Palestine.
By the 1940s, Britain struggled to manage the violence between Jews and Arabs.
In 1947, the UN voted to split Palestine into Jewish and Arab states, with Jerusalem under international control.
The plan gave about 55% of the land to the Jewish state and 45% to the Arab state.
Jewish leaders accepted the plan, seeing it as a chance to build their own nation.
Arab leaders rejected it, arguing it unfairly favored the Jewish minority over the Arab majority.
On May 14, 1948, the State of Israel was officially proclaimed in Tel Aviv.
The next day, armies from Egypt, Jordan, Syria, Lebanon, and Iraq invaded, starting the 1948 Arab-Israeli War.
The war lasted until 1949, ending with Israel controlling more land than in the UN plan. Around 700,000 Palestinian Arabs fled, or were expelled, becoming refugees in neighboring countries.
In 1949, the Green Line set borders: West Bank to Jordan, Gaza to Egypt.
Israel now held about 78% of the former British Mandate territory.
Many Palestinians lived in refugee camps for decades, often in poor conditions.
Israel welcomed hundreds of thousands of Jewish immigrants from Europe and Arab lands.
In 1956, tensions with Egypt led to the Suez Crisis, involving Israel, Britain, and France.
The Suez Crisis ended with a ceasefire, but deeper disputes over land and refugees remained unresolved.
In June 1967, tensions with Egypt, Jordan, and Syria erupted into the Six-Day War. Israel captured East Jerusalem, the West Bank, Gaza, Sinai, and the Golan Heights. For the first time in decades, Jews had access to the Western Wall in Jerusalem.
Thousands of Palestinians were displaced during and after the conflict.
UN Resolution 242 called for Israel's withdrawal from occupied territories in exchange for peace.
On Yom Kippur in 1973, Egypt and Syria launched a surprise attack on Israel.
The Yom Kippur War lasted 3 weeks and caused heavy losses on both sides.
U.S. diplomacy in the 1970s helped broker disengagement agreements between Israel and its neighbors.
In 1977, Egypt made a groundbreaking visit to Jerusalem to advance peace efforts.
In 1978, Egypt and Israel signed the Camp David Accords, paving the way for peace.
Israel returned the Sinai Peninsula to Egypt in exchange for recognition and peace.
Tensions continued between Israel and Palestinians under occupation.
In 1982, Israel invaded Lebanon to drive out the PLO.
The war displaced many civilians and deepened regional divisions.
In 1987, the First Intifada began, a Palestinian uprising against Israeli rule.
The uprising lasted years, marked by protests, clashes, and civil resistance.
In the early 1990s, secret peace talks began between Israel and the PLO.
In 1993, the Oslo Accords created the Palestinian Authority and limited self-rule. The deal was a step toward a two-state solution, though many issues remained.
Despite hope, violence and mistrust continued on both sides.
In 1995, Israeli Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin was assassinated by an extremist.
His death shocked the nation and slowed the peace process.
In 2000, peace talks failed to resolve final status issues. The Second Intifada began in 2000, marked by intense violence. The conflict claimed thousands of lives over several years.
Israel built a barrier, citing security needs. Palestinians saw it as land seizure. In 2005, Israel unilaterally withdrew from Gaza. Hamas won Palestinian elections in 2006, heightening tensions. In 2007, Hamas seized control of Gaza from Fatah.
Rocket fire and Israeli airstrikes became a cycle of violence.
The 2008-2009 Gaza War caused heavy casualties on both sides.
Egypt brokered a ceasefire to end the fighting.
In 2012, the UN granted Palestine non-member observer state status.
The 2014 Gaza War caused major destruction and loss of life.
International aid arrived to support civilians after the fighting. In 2017, the U.S. recognized Jerusalem as Israel's capital.
In 2020, Israel normalized relations with the UAE and other Arab states.
In 2021, fighting erupted again between Israel and Hamas.
Despite decades of conflict, many still hope for peace.
In 2022, violence escalated, affecting civilians and journalists.
Tensions flared at Jerusalem's holy sites during Ramadan 2022.
Settlement growth in 2022 fueled political disputes.
Street clashes marked a rise in West Bank violence in 2022.
In 2023, protests erupted in Israel over judicial reforms.
In 2023, Gaza's economy faced severe challenges under blockade.
A short ceasefire in 2023 brought temporary calm.
Rocket attacks and airstrikes continued through 2023.
Talks in 2023 aimed to reduce tensions in the region.
The UN continued calls for a two-state solution in 2023.
In 2024, grassroots peace efforts gained attention.
Civilians on both sides demanded an end to bloodshed in 2024. Humanitarian aid flowed into Gaza after renewed fighting in 2024.
Tightened checkpoints slowed daily life in 2024.
Diplomatic efforts in 2024 sought lasting peace agreements.
Shared grief brought communities together in 2024.
In 2025, young leaders pushed for reconciliation.
World leaders in 2025 renewed calls for a negotiated solution.
In 2025, joint peace marches symbolized hope for the future.
Even after decades of conflict, many still work tirelessly for peace.
Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe for more stories from history.